Get some of this stuff wedged in. Alrighty. I guess I can't sit there, it doesn't matter. Where's that tool? There's no wire tool. I kind of wanted the other one though, but I guess it's okay. Open that up. It smells a lot like mold in here. This clay's pretty stiff. So we'll see how this works for us today. Again, it's another day of some porcelain. Man, that's hard. I'm sure when I wedge it up a little bit it'll get better, but let's set this back in the bag. Got a lot of chunks. Over here. Oh my gosh. Might be okay. I tilt this over to wedging table. Let's get this started. Hopefully when you move it around a little bit, it wants to be more of a friend, right? The one that feels like the worst to me out of all of the three here. But should be okay. There we go, there's our last one. Get ready. We're gonna start throwing here. Is on? It is. Okay. Whew. pottery shelf. Camera A. Green on. Good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on grows. Feed them horses. We got 3 more pots coming your guys' way. We got the ones in the back here. I'm really gonna be pretty speedy today. I got working a little bit and I really need to finish this stuff. So I'll see you guys in a second. Green off. I hit that camera again. Camera C. Camera C. How much water do I have in here? I could probably get some more. The best is when it settles and doesn't get in your mouth. That was disgusting. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe my hands down just a little bit. We're gonna push this down. Camera A. Something I'm always making sure is, do you see how I want to seal this bottom? So always my first goal is to make sure I seal that bottom edge. Because I want to be able to push on this top. I probably shouldn't have worn my jorts today. My jorts kind of restrict my leg mobility. Okay, but we're right at the bottom. Pulling this up. I'm not too worried about some of these wobbles here. We're just trying to work with the clay, get it all worked out with us here. This whole top, you can see this top part is wanting to rip off. I'm gonna bring that back down. Right into the fingers on the bottom. I'm gonna bring this right back up. Water, goes right back up, down. As soon as the base is kind of ready, we're good to go. You know, that's really what we're focused on for a majority of these poles. We're just trying to get that base all nice and figured out. Bring this up. Bring this down, and I already know that that top part's going to rip. You can even hear the bubbles just popping out. Slowly just bringing this down. And then when I go to pull up the walls, I'm going to have to deal with those bubbles that form. A little bit of water on the top. Swap over to camera C. Camera C. Right down to this base here, right? Hammer fist again, coming down. I ran out of my normal clay, right? And so I had some reserves of porcelain. And I bought some more normal clay, like what I normally use, yesterday. So I have it like upstairs right now, but I was like, well, you know what? Let's just finish off the porcelain and let's get it out of my mind. So it's not like looming over me to use it, right? And so that's why I'm using the porcelain right now. My fingers on the inside, slowly bring this back using my middle finger here to cut across that base. The water again on that the side. Slowly round this down over the top. Smooth out this middle. Okay. Move this right over here. Make sure I have that corner all set. We don't want to have any folds, so I'm really trying to make sure I push that clay down. Okay. I think we're ready to bring our friend of the stream, Mr. Llama. You guys ready? What's up, guys? It's me, Mr. Llama. We're gonna get into another volcano, first one of the day. I'll see you down there in a second. Camera B. So, the llama's gonna bite down on that rim and slowly walk backwards, while our left hand is slowly pushing forwards. And we're just trying to align that top piece in, right? And so there we go. We got our nice little volcano there. We go down for our first pull. Take our knuckle off to the side here. And when you're wide like that, let the wheel kind of slowly allow that finger to drift in there. I think people will go too fast on that bottom pull, right? When you're at the base, chill out there for a second. Really allow that wheel to do some work for you and bring that center in, right? Or that base in. A little bit more water, again. So I'm gonna bring my knuckle right down at this base, slowly walking this in. So I'm just allowing, be slow first. And just walking up that bump. Got one more. I have a thin spot right here though, you can see. Alright. Probably gotta color this in one more time. Okay. One more pull. We gotta be careful when we get to the top, so we're gonna get some water right on my elbow. Push in at this base. Allow those fingers to slowly drift over the top. When we get to the top, do you see how we kind of very small bump when we get to the top because we want to keep that thickness up there, right? I'm live at whenever is most convenient for me. Today I have work for the rest of the day. So I wouldn't be able to start filming until like 11 o'clock at night, and then I have like 3 to 4 hours of like editing after that. Just not feasible, so I gotta get it done before work, that's all. Well, it is feasible, but I also just want to make sure I go to bed on a normal schedule, right? Alright. Okay, ready? Pushing down my finger. So do you see what I was kind of doing there when I was doing the twist? I was kind of loose at the base, a little bit more drastic on those inward pushes, right? And so that way, when I go downwards, it's going to probably twist more in that middle. Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, right down. You ready? I feel like it didn't twist up as much. So I'm gonna kind of hold this. I want it to twist up more in that middle. And I guess that's okay. And so I actually think that the clay is a little bit hard, so I'm gonna have to leave that top a little bit thicker on the next one. Because you see how the twist is happening a little bit higher up than where I wanted it to? And so what I thought when I thinned out that middle, I thought I thinned it out enough, but apparently not. So we're gonna make sure that we make that top a little bit thicker next time, so then when I have that outward pressure, it really wants to fall down. We have a little bit of that lean to one side too. So we gotta make sure we play around with that a little bit. So right up underneath here. Some water on there. Pinky right up underneath. We're slowly gonna bring this up. And we're definitely doing some tendrils on this one. Taller. Yeah, when the clay is, this porcelain's pretty stiff, you know, so it's gonna probably listen to me a little bit more than some softer stuff, you know. I always think when the clay is a lot more hard, you're gonna get a lot more height. More hard? Is it just harder, I guess, right? Again, I'm gonna bring this up, curl this over. Have I sold any of these? No, I don't sell any of them. Handles at that base. There's one just a little bit here. Alright, so that's number one. Oh no, it's a spider. Spider's gone now. Alright, right underneath. Slowly gonna get some of that clay underneath that base. Alright, swap over to camera C. Camera C. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure we pop this up. I'm gonna bring this over here. And I'll give you guys a pottery edit, so goated 1. Goated 1. Alrighty guys, here we go. My finger's hooked right up underneath here. I'm pushing forward a little bit. Somebody said, I didn't know there was a special guest. Do you mean the spider? Yeah. Well, there's so many spiders down here. Yeah, I'm not too excited about that, to be honest. A little bit of water. Swap over to camera A. down, and up. Take a breath, and we're gonna bring this down. And again, we're just trying to warm up the clay. I'm kind of freaking out. My hair's touching me, it feels like spiders. Somebody asked, how long have I been doing clay art? I've been working with this material for like 4.5 years. I started with charcoal drawing though, and I slowly found ceramics. Whenever that wobble happens, don't freak out. Just look at what's happening beneath your hands. I have a thin part, so it's probably going to tear right here. So we're going to go pretty gentle with our tilt until we bring it far down enough to really account for that thickness, right? Because it's wanting to rip right here. You can even see that rip happening. So just chill. So sometimes I'll use my fingers as I'm pushing down to hopefully get that back, but you'd be surprised. It just might totally rip off. And so I just went too thin, and it's wanting to rip rather than stretch. But we saved it right down to the base. All right, bring this down. And so usually when you get those rips, kind of like sad because you can't do something crazy with that longer cone upwards. Sometimes I like to just spin it around and pretend I'm like an earthbender or something, but we're not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to keep on cruising. All right. You can see it's like right in this middle part here. Every time it just wants to rip there. So I think we're just gonna have to live with it and address it when we do our polls. So we'll see you in a second. Camera C. So we said good evening, Mr. Pottery. That's so funny, Space Cowboy. Also, if I'm looking at my hand here, oh, it's just my hair is getting stuck in the clay. Oh, great. Delicious. If you eat it, you'll become a potter. Okay. Come on, get away from the clay. Do I have it on my hands anymore? No. Long hair problems. Yeah, that's so funny. A little bit of water on that interior. Open this up. And I'm gonna have some air bubbles, right? I'm gonna have those rabbits, so I gotta make sure I pop them as I open this up here. I'm wondering if I have any advice on what you should do for college. I would say if you're asking, you know, I wouldn't go into the arts area, right? I think if you go into the art area, you really have to go in with like a ferocity and like this unrelenting confidence and determination, right? Or else it's just gonna be like a waste. But again, I don't really know you. I don't know what you're into. I'm assuming you were thinking about art stuff because you're asking me, right? But I find that sometimes I think about if I would have just chose to get like a business degree or become an engineer, I would have a lot more money, so then I could fund my endeavors that I think are interesting a little bit easier, right? But I didn't choose that way. But if you do choose the art path, really I think the way that you're going to make income is through multiple pools of revenue, right? And you really have to think that you're gonna get some stuff done. You know, I think a lot of people go to art school and they have fun. I think you gotta stage it so then you don't have fun. But that's kind of my personal opinion. If people think differently, that's totally chill, but that's just my advice. Alright, we're gonna go over, we're gonna have our llama here. Hey guys, llama. Wait, is this llama? Yeah, llama poll number 2. We're gonna get right into it. Sorry, I just stuttered. I didn't know what I was thinking. There's not a lot going up in the brain up here. Alright, I'll see you guys in a second. Camera B. Okay, right at this base. You're gonna slowly bring this back towards yourself. Alrighty. Discovered what made me start doing pottery. I had two semesters, I had a year and a half of school left, and I just got out of quitting on a endeavor that I was pursuing, and I had nothing else to do, right? Like I kind of just quit. And then I was like, alright, well I need to find something, you know, because I'm going to be here for another year and a half. And then that thing ended up being pottery. And so then I told myself, alright, no quitting now. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. And the key right now is we're just trying to even out these walls. Hugo said, I have a small pottery wheel and I can't get my clay centered on it. Do I have any advice? Yeah, I have some advice for you. I would say that when you're pushing on the clay, a lot of people like to think that when you're pushing your clay center, you are pushing it center, right? But you're not. You're pushing past center, right? I'll show you. Camera C. If this thing, I was getting ready to center this and this was like just a solid chunk of clay, my left hand is going to be tucked into my body, right? I'm using my body weight. My elbows aren't up like this, you know? I'm locked in. My elbows are right on my hip and I'm using my body to push that clay forward. I split that clay up into thirds, right? The left third, the right third, and the middle. Take your left hand and you never go into that middle area and you're going to push that forward, right? You're gonna literally push that forward. You want it to not go through the center, you want to go past that center. Then if you're pushing this forward, right, the clay's not moving, it's all that pressure is right on your palm of your hand or the back of your wrist right here, right? Then this hand's gonna be across and you're just gonna push this one's the wall, and you can see how when I push this closer, right, when they come across, this little circle here gets thinner. That's how you're going to be bringing up, and you're going to be bringing up your hands as that's getting thinner, and that's how you're going to cone up that clay, right? And so hopefully that helps you a little bit. I can show you on the next one, but here we go. Camera B. Yeah, And you see how I just carry this little bump up? And again, we're just trying to even out those walls a little bit. We have one more pole. But I gotta be careful, I'm a little bit thin on this top, so I gotta make sure I really focus on that bottom in this next pole. Somebody said, what keeps me on living? That's a doom and gloom question, oh my goodness. I feel like right now, like I'm living a bonus life, right? And in living the bonus life, I feel like there's things that past self didn't think was possible, right? And I think my goal is to overcome those weaknesses of past self. To almost prove to myself that, you know, the things that were detrimental to me before, I can overcome them, right? I think everything else right now doesn't really matter too much. I think I just gotta prove to myself that I can do this thing, and then after I can relax a little bit more, right? Just in the pursuit of value, finding value. That's kind of the broad idea. I feel like a lot of life can be boiled down to pursuing value. Good morning, chili dogs. Yo, I like that. That's what I like to see. Your clay keeps ripping. What could you have done wrong? I'm assuming it's ripping when you pulled, did your first pull maybe? When did it rip? If it ripped during your first pull, I would say that you're probably trying to pull too much clay at the beginning and you're thinning out that base, and that top is too thick, so then when you get to that top, you're adding too much tension and it'll just rip right off. No, I haven't heard of that. Alright, here we go. I guess I gotta really make sure I bring these up, huh? Okay, we're gonna get ready. My fingers are at this bottom base. Slow down. I kiss that rim. Sir says, same design every time. It's part of the tree project, yo. 3 trees a day for a whole entire year. No exceptions. That's the project. Keeping an eye on that twist because it's wanting to lean a little bit, so if it starts to tilt over, we just want to be able to catch that, right? After I finish this, I'm going to try to remove that middle part so it's not as impacted by the centripetal force here. So how I normally do this is I'll lean this over and I'll twist this up. And then usually that twist is the thing that's going to keep that on center there. And again, I have more hair stuck on me. It's just great. Okay. Hey, were you just playing the Nintendo DSi camera theme song? Yeah, probably. Alright. Push this in just a little bit, right? And so this way, you have less tension, you know, wanting to tilt that over from the force of it spinning, right? I'm gonna kick this up. It's so smooth when you hook your fingers up over the lip when you're straightening it up. Dang, I'll have to rewatch and look what I did there. Alright, so here we go. I think we'll do a double tandrel on this one. Okay. There's one. With the porcelain, you know, it actually is harder to get the double tendrils to be even because the porcelain cuts so easily. Like, you'd be surprised on how easily it cuts. And so I usually can't get a super even line wherever I cut the object here, but that's okay. When we're doing this, we really want to make sure that wherever we are touching the clay here, we're adding some motion with the form, right? We'll have the hook over like that. I think that's going to look kind of nice. I'll spin this a little bit and get ready for this next one. And really the key with this is touch them as little as possible, right? The more and more you fiddle with it, I've always thought the uglier and uglier these parts look. And you know what? We're going to actually have this one lower than what we would normally do. There we go. So kind of playing with the height. And why would we want to do that? Because if I think about it a little bit, there's a moment, there's something happening at every moment, right? The base, there's these two things coming off. This one over here is creeping up a little bit. This one's going up further, and then to meet, oh, hit the top, but then to meet that top part, right? And so I think that this is kind of an interesting object because of that. Actually playing with those moments and those stages of the vessel here. But I'm just kind of thinning these out, and there we go. We're gonna have another little Pottery Demo edit for you guys, so we're gonna swap over to camera A. Goaded 1. Charge that energy. Green on. Here we go. Oh, this one totally fell. Wait, did that just happen? Alright, so we got another one here. Said, have I ever made a tobacco water pipe? No. What do you think the cost? Let's get this clay out of my screen here, yo. What do you think the cost would be to get into pottery? You could probably get a nice wheel for $600. I wouldn't get one of those really cheap wheels that you'd get like on Amazon or something. Shimpo makes this thing called the Aspen wheel that I think is pretty good. So I would get something like that. It's a small tabletop wheel, so it's kind of portable. This one that I'm throwing is kind of more like you need a space setup for it. So I'd get something that's a little bit more portable first, maybe. And then you just need material. And so you can get a bag of clay, like 50 pounds of clay for like, I don't know, maybe like $20, maybe a little bit more than that. Do I make my own clay? No, I get all my clay from either people who are giving it to me, like I help a lot of people out, you know, and so they'll pay me in clay sometimes, and then there's also like a pottery supply place that I get clay from as well. But yeah, I would say you'd probably want to have around like $1,000 to burn to start it, you know. I don't fire any of my pieces, but you don't really need a kiln. You can download a website called Kiln Share, and you can share kiln space with people, right? So wherever that wobble is, we're just gonna slowly meet that clay when we get back down here. Also, do you see how it's wanting to actually rip off this base? And so that's not good. That's like actually really bad. So it's kind of sad, because now it might just come right off the wheel head here. Alright, I gotta bring this down. That's always a problem, because well, why would that be a problem? Because if I'm pushing and the actual base of the clay is moving, it's not gonna stay on center, you know. But you can get something called a Kiln Share, and you can fire your stuff with people, or you can go to like an art center nearby that has a kiln. There you go. I'm a donate 100 if you destroy it. It's so funny, yo. Does this help with stress? No, this amplifies stress. That's always the funniest thing when I teach people, you know. I have some like, you know, I teach all ages of people, but I'll have some like middle-aged women come into a class sometimes, and if they're brand new to pottery, I think they'll think that sometimes this like pottery is like a very soothing thing, and they're gonna have like a really relaxing time, because I'm assuming that's what they see on social media. But then all of a sudden they'll start, right? And they're like, I thought this was supposed to be peaceful. Like, I really think that it's a test. Like, if you struggle with things not going with your way, right? Or if you did bad on a test and that like ruined your week, or you know, if you lose in a video game or something, like pottery's probably not the best thing to get into, because it will literally test your mind so much. You'll be right on the brink of success, and it'll steal it from you. You know, imagine you work like 3 weeks on a project just for it to turn out like shit, or just explode in a kiln, right? Like, it's a very, very Noah says he gets mad at video games. Zoa. That's so funny. Josh is wildin'. JK on the 100, you seem like a nice guy. Ah, thank you. What color do I usually paint them? I don't. They're all unglazed. Like all these ones back here, all unglazed, all unfired. I'm really just about the making on the wheel. That's my jam. It's a little bit thin on that base, so we're not going to go too crazy here. So we're just going to bring this back down, though. Tilt this over. Making sure I keep my eye on that base, because that's where it wants to rip. Do you see how it's kind of folding really awkwardly there? So that usually happens with harder clay. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to get ready. Swap over to camera C. My hammer fist is coming right down on top. There we go. And you can see, look at where my left hand is. Always on that left third there. Hammer fist coming down that middle. Hammer fist slowly pulling outwards here. And what's happening is it's bringing all that off-center clay out, around, and right into this palm. Are you from Midwest? You give off Midwest vibes. Ohio, baby. Best state in the whole entire US of A. People from Ohio were built different. Do you ever plan on selling any of them? No, maybe one day, but not right now. I have too many ideas on what I want to do with them. Ohio! Does your hair ever get caught in it? Yeah, all the time. I get hair in my, or clay in my hair all the time. It's just whatever, I don't really mind. Every day I do this, so every day I get dirty, every day I have clay on me, so a little bit of clay in my hair is not really a big deal. Yeah, Ohio's awesome. Alright, we got some bubbles on this middle part here, so we're trying to get some of those out. And we're going to get ready for our last little llama pole here. I'm starting to see that I have this a little bit too thin, so I want to make sure I kind of push this down. Okay, and it's not centered, so watch when I go to camera A. Alright, so you see it's a little bit wobbly, but we're not freaked out. We're going to swap over to camera B. Camera B. Get our llama here. He's going to bite down on the rim for the last time today. We're going to make another volcano. So he bites down. That left hand is slowly pulling backwards. Or pushing forward as the right hand is slowly, that llama hand is slowly pulling backwards towards our body. Right? There we go. A lot of water coming from my wheel right now, so I gotta get my sponge. Camera C. You'll see just water just pours from my wheel here, so I just kind of want to get that all figured out so it doesn't like leak over and destroy all those pots. Do I have a favorite piece? Yeah, I probably have a couple favorite pieces, but right now I think it's probably one of the trees. I've really been enjoying some of the trees. What's my hair care routine? Every once in a while I'll brush out my hair when it gets like starts dreading. I have like 2 clumps of hair in the back of my head, kind of near where my neck is, that like mats up and dreads like really easily. And so I usually have to brush those out, and I rip out a ton of my hair when I do that. And then I use shampoo, and that's kind of it. It's my hair game. You got a volcano in the chat? Thank you. Do I ever braid it? No. I feel like that just takes too much time. I'm like a person with long hair that treats my hair as if I had short hair. Alright, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna bring my knuckle down. We're gonna swap over to camera B. And again, do you see how much I'm using my knuckle there to really start carving a new center point? The base isn't perfectly centered, but we're carving that in there. No conditioner? I mean, sometimes. It's exactly how my hair goes. With the dreading, we're probably around the same length. It's tough. I'm going through this. Yeah, you know, I feel like one day it's just gonna be long enough, and then I'll do like the 2 Willie Nelson braids, and then I'll be done. I will never have to worry about it. Look like a biker. Alright, right down to the base here. Push down this clay to find this bump. Look at that, there we go. And now the whole goal now is just to take this bump up, right? like a slug up the side of the vessel here, trying to find his next meal. You slowly just lift this up like a little baby bird. Fell from his nest. Get back in your nest, little baby bird. Sometimes if you try to bring that top rim in, you see how it kind of kicked over there? So usually on this rims you gotta be slower, or you just bring it out wider on that rim. I think I gotta turn my music down just a tad. Alright. We probably have one more pole, but I feel like last time we went too thin on the top, so we're not even gonna worry about it. Let's check our thickness here at the bottom though. Dang, I feel like I should do one more, but yeah, I feel like we gotta chill. The other ones are tall enough. We can keep this one a little bit shorter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so here we go. Get the water out of that interior. You said they think I'd look cool with the Viking braid hairstyle or something? I think so too. I think with my beard, it might look pretty nice. There we go. Slow down. Actually, one that's a little bit longer. We could have done a double, but actually just have this long one. So maybe this could look kind of cool though. Maybe right on this rim here. So this has more of an hourglass shape and it's a lot shorter than the other two, right? But it kind of has that in, out look to it, right? So be right to the base. I feel like we didn't do any petals today, so this one will probably be a petals tree. We gotta worry about those air bubbles that we're getting underneath here. Those are gonna pop when we lift this up, so that's gonna be kind of interesting to see how we deal with that. Viking braids, badass. Alright. One day, guys, one day. It needs to get really long, though. Like, I need it to be, when it's all braided up, it needs to still be kind of long, right? So I have my finger right underneath. There's an air bubble in there, so we're just going to slowly make sure we don't get caught on that when we're pulling this out. There we go. We gotta do 9. Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, whatever. You guys will see what I mean here in a second, but I always feel like these petals look like doo-doo whenever I don't have an even number, but we'll try our best here. Not too bad. I feel like this could be a little bit wider. I'm gonna get the petals on the bottom there. And so this is the petals on this one is not really the best. I would say on some of the other ones we get better ones, but I did want to do the petals just because on the other two I didn't have them. So we'll see how they look all together here in a second. See you guys in a moment. Camera C. Oh, camera C's dead. Let's get an F in the chat for camera C. Camera A. And we'll give you guys goated 1. Goated 1. Alright, guys. I'm gonna need some energy from you guys. Here, let me see if there's any questions. You said that your brother's watching this and his reactions are too funny. That's so funny. Pot grow bonsai tree out of it. Yeah, a lot of people have said the bonsai tree thing. I always think it's kind of interesting. Alright, let me go over there in a second. Somebody asked, is this live? No, not, no. Alright. Is this all? That's not too bad. I feel like I could bring that front more in focus, just a tad, right? So here, let me bring this down just a tiny little bit. How's that looking? Yeah, I think that's good. Alright guys, so give me some energy. I need some energy. I gotta shrink myself down here, you know. I'm like in the Avengers, you know, Ant-Man. I'm like the pottery version of Ant-Man. Alright. So here we go. Thank you for the energy. I'm like, it's like I'm forming a spirit bomb. Green on. Not enough energy, guys. Come on, give me some more energy. Give me your energy. Green on. Hello, everybody. It's me on the wheel. I'm not gonna rhyme with it's about to get real this time. I feel like I've done that too many times. But we're gonna get over here. We're gonna start off with this one. I think this one is the winner of the day. There's something about the gesture of the pot. I think that the twist is pretty nice, the height is nice, the tendrils, right? And I think when I did a double tendril here and I have that one kind of in that middle and one lower, it adds so much emotion, and it's a very emotive pot, really playing around with gesture, right? Breaking away kind of from pottery and going more into that sculptural realm with that one. We got this one over here. This one is more of like a pattern on that base, but whatever I always think about this one, do you see how the twist slowly gets tighter as it goes up, right? I always imagine it's like giving you, imagine you're at the base of like a redwood tree in like the Yosemite Mountains, right? And you look up, you know, the bark in front of you is gonna look a lot more, it's gonna look larger than the bark that's being condensed when you get to that top part, right? And so that's kind of how I think about these trees sometimes, is as if I'm looking up towards them, you know? It's like exaggerating that perspective. But anyway, still just a pattern on the bottom one, very typical tree form. A little bit leaning on one side, but we're not really worried about that. And then we got the one on the top. That one's probably a little bit more uniform. It really has that hourglass kind of shape to it. Just a nice contrast, where this one's a little bit more cylindrical, right? This one has more of that contrast baked into it. I think it's a little bit more interesting to look at. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. All the best, and strong mentality. Alright. Can I make another one? No, I literally have work in... When do I have work? I have work in the next hour. So I gotta start getting ready to go. Alright, let's see. Make another pot. I am the storm. Thank you for the energy, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, they're so funny. Alright. But yeah, so that's all we got for today. I'm gonna head off here, guys, but thank you again. Let's pop over to computer. Peace out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.